All right. Welcome in, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're tackling something pretty close to home for a lot of us, I think. Integrating family life and purpose. Like, how do we bring those two worlds together?
Yeah, that's a big one for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. And to get into it, someone sent us this piece. It's titled Pasted Text. And it looks like, an email or maybe a blog post, something like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to kind of dig into that and see, what we can pull out of it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So right away, this person starts off with this story about their dad, which I think is really interesting. And they talk about how, like, when they were 9 years old, they were, like, getting dragged to these chiropractic seminars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I know, right?
9 years old? That's pretty young.
It is. It is. I mean, what 9-year-old wants to be sitting in a room full of chiropractors?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are some kids out there who would be into it, but...
True. I mean, hey, you
Right.
never know, right? But yeah, for most 9-year-olds, that's probably not, top of their list of fun things to do.
Exactly.
But the point is that, like, even if they didn't fully understand what was going on at those seminars, it still left a mark on them. It's like these early experiences, they kind of shape us in ways we don't even realize at the time.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's not just about the topic itself. It's seeing that passion in their parent, right? That drive to learn and grow. Like, studies actually show that can trigger these mirror neurons in the child's brain.
Really?
Yeah. So they're subconsciously making a connection between their own sense of purpose and what they're seeing their parent do.
That's incredible.
Yeah. It's like planting a seed, even if it doesn't sprout right away.
Wow. And speaking of seeds, the author of this piece throws in this funny line about learning to drink and party like a rock star at those seminars, which I thought was hilarious.
That's great.
But it also brings up something important too, right? It's like finding that balance.
Yeah.
You could be super dedicated to your purpose, but also know how to let loose and have fun.
For sure. Life shouldn't be all work and no play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot where your passions energize you and, you're able to bring that joy and energy back to your family.
I like that.
So fast forward to present day, and the author's talking about their own efforts to kind of integrate family more into their life. And one thing they mention is taking their kids to this thing called a growth summit and also planning a family trip to Serenbe.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of Serenbe?
I have.
What's the deal with that place?
Yeah.
The author describes it as absolutely amazing, which, piques my curiosity.
Yeah, so Serenbe is like this intentional community. It's built around sustainability and connecting with nature. They've got these organic farms, art studios, all kinds of activities that encourage families to learn and grow together.
So it's not just like going to Disney World.
It's definitely a different vibe. It's more about shared experiences that are aligned with a certain lifestyle, a certain set of values.
It sounds pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that, the author's point about building a legacy that goes beyond just, your career achievements.
Exactly. It's the memories you create, the environment you nurture for your family, the values you pass on.
Yeah, it's like that saying, actions speak louder than words,
Exactly.
You're living it, not just talking about it. And the author, lays out some pretty practical ways to actually do this.
Yeah.
Like one thing they mentioned is bringing your kids to work so they can, see what you actually DO all day.
Right. It makes it real for them. Instead of just hearing you talk about work, they get to experience the environment, maybe meet your colleagues, see the impact you're making.
It's like bringing your work life to life for them.
Yeah, exactly. And that can be really powerful, in shaping their understanding of what it means to contribute, to have a purpose.
For sure.
Yeah.
And they also talk about involving kids in personal development, like even something as simple as listening to podcasts together, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the first time I listened to, insert specific podcast or event name here.
Uh-huh.
And it totally shifted my perspective on mentioned topic of podcast event. Like I started seeing things in a whole new light.
I love that because it's those shared moments of learning and growth that spark the best conversations,
Totally.
And even if kids don't get every detail, just hearing you discuss ideas, explain your why, that can be super influential.
It all goes back to planting those seeds.
It does.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, what really resonated with me was the author's main message, which is that legacy is about so much more than just, money or material success.
Right.
It's about the values and lessons we pass on to our kids, to future generations.
I think that's so important. It's about what we truly invest our time and energy in, what matters most to us. And how do we make that a part of our family life so it becomes, woven into who we are, who our children become?
Yeah, it's a powerful question to ask ourselves.
It is.
And the author ends with this challenge to the reader.
Yeah.
How can you integrate family into your journey? What values are at the core of your legacy?
A challenge we should all take on, I think.
I agree. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. What's one small step, however small, that you can take today to bring your family a little closer to your purpose? Maybe it's having a conversation, sharing something you're passionate about, or just spending some quality time together.
Sometimes those little moments make the biggest difference.
They really do. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for having me.